y'all, my name's Ashley Smith and I'm a premier with PS I Love Posh. Tonight we're going to train on how to rock your vendor events. I'm super excited. I do a vendor event almost every weekend and they're so much fun. So today we're going to start with the two most important things for vendor events. But first off, who's done a vendor event and who hasn't? Post below in the comments. So the first most important thing of vendor events is to make sure you're labeling everything. Make sure you label your catalogs. Make sure you're labeling your products. If you have cash and carry, make sure you're labeling your line brochures, your opportunity brochures, whatever's on your table that people can take, make sure you're labeling them. Have business cards with you. Some people may not want to take a catalog, but may want to put a business card in their wallet, and they'll still contact you later. Just because they don't want a catalog doesn't mean they're not interested. So that being said, make sure you label everything. Labels can be bought from the portal, and even if you want to print them off at home, like Avery has like some great templates that are super easy with Word to figure out on how to print those. Then there's also Rotek, ROTEK.com, I think, and Cassie's used them before to get labels for her products that she sells. They're like usually yellow and they're smaller than like the average label, and they seem to have like a little bit of waterproof to them. So that's especially nice on things that go in the shower, like shower gels. So that's like the first most important thing. The second most important thing is to make sure you're getting their contact information from them. I use drawing slips, and I got that graphic off of Rockstar Graphics. And I just print them off at home. You can like take them to Office Depot to get printed, or you can even print them on like fancy paper. I usually print them on like hot pink paper, and I use those at my vendor events every week. The reason I use them is so you can get their contact information. How else are you going to follow up with someone who bought something or someone who's interested in something if you don't have their contact information? And the drawing slips are just a great way to gather their information. I will either draw for a free lip balm, or a lot of times they do a deluxe sample pack, so that they can actually try more products too if they win. I love doing the drawings, and people love winning. Like, you can call them and be like, hey, you want a deluxe sample pack? And they're so excited. And sometimes those leads can turn into, your next recruit or your next sale. Calavera, I don't know how to say her name, Cassie will. But if you go on YouTube, she talks a lot about the drawing slips. And if you treat each one like a dollar bill, you will follow up with them, and it's not so scary. So you should watch that training because it's a great one. But those are the most two important things you need to know about vendor events. We'll get started with some other stuff here really quick. I take with me to a vendor event recruiting packets and hostess packets. That way, if the hostess and I set a date, I give her the packet. That way she has it. She's really excited. She can start sharing Posh with all her friends. And in the hostess packet, I include some catalogs, like how a party will go. And I'll include some samples for her to start sharing and some order forms so she can start collecting those outside orders immediately. And I take recruiting packets, which has like a catalog, like my why story, like why I joined Posh. And then it also has some samples, and it'll have a catalog, and in it it'll have the kits printed off, so she can see what a great value that is. I always bring a tablecloth. Mine, it has the Perfectly Posh logo, and I bought it from the portal. Those are so great because you're identifying with the brand. That's very important, and it already has her name on it, because a lot of times in schools that they won't let you hang anything up on the gymnasium wall, so a banner is sort of hard to hang up unless you have a banner stand, and those can get super expensive. So I love that the tablecloth with our name already on it, and it's within our brand, so you don't have to worry about if you're not branded. It is already branded for you. I bring tester sticks, popsicle sticks that I get from Michael's or Joann's. That way I can safely sample body butters or lip scrubs or whatever I'm sampling at the time. I will bring my testers with me. I always make sure to bring drawing slips too. That's very important, like we talked about earlier. I'll bring snacks and water with me because a lot of times, like, the choices there aren't the healthiest, and I try to eat, like, healthy, and I also, like, that's a good way to save money because you're taking stuff you already have from home, and a lot of times the concession stands can get very expensive. And I'll take, like, display items, like, I have some shelving. Here, I'll move to show you. But up there, you can see I have some shelving, and that's just, like, a super great way to display your items a little bit better. They have some spice racks from Walmart that you can paint pink or black or just leave them white, and they are great to display hand creams and chunks on. I found a lot of stuff on, like, garage sales, like it's almost garage sale season, or Goodwill, or even auctions. You can turn any, like, thing into a display item, as long as you put, like, a little bit of paint in your crafty. It's super easy, and I love it. And I'm always looking for something new, too, to add to my display. It's always ever-changing, but yours doesn't have to be. I just like to change it up. What to wear to an event. Make sure you're in, like, poshy clothing. Brand yourself, you know. Don't wear, like, purple to an event. Make sure you're wearing, like, pink, and maybe you have, like, a posh t-shirt. I always wear some nice jeans and some comfy shoes because you're going to be on your feet a lot. You don't want to sit. You always want to stay standing at vendor events so you can talk to people and seem like actively engaging people. So that's wear comfy shoes because you'll be on your feet a lot. I usually wear, like, a nice pair of jeans, some comfy sneakers, and the Perfectly Posh logo top with the collar, and I put a little, like, vest on, like a little jacket, like a black jacket on over it, because I get cold sometimes, and so the jacket just helps keep you warm. So dress in layers, because you never know what you're going to experience. Like, sometimes it'll be freezing cold, and sometimes it'll be, like, super duper hot. How to make your display look awesome. Don't clutter your table. You don't have to put everything in the catalog out on the booth table. What a lot of people do is they'll store their stock underneath the table and then put, like, their testers out so people can easily test the product. And then they have a sign that says, I have cash and carry, ask me. And so that just makes it, like, a super simple way to not clutter your table. I will, on my table, I usually put chunks on one end. In the middle, I put lip scrubs and skin sticks. And then on the other end, I put hand creams. And I'll have the stock there, too. Like, right behind it on my spice rack shelves. And then I'll have other stock below my table, like body butters and scrubs and things, too. But I'm not displaying that on my table, because a lot of times I only get, like, a 4-foot or 6-foot table at some of the shows, and a lot of times that's not enough room to display everything I have. And that, it also makes it easier for customers to shop, especially customers that are your, like, first-time customers, that maybe have not heard of Posh before, and so it gives them an easier shopping experience to experience, like, 3 awesome things we have, without being overwhelmed by the entire catalog being on the table. And I don't remember who said this, but someone always has said to save the surprise for the home party, and I think that's super important too, because the home party is really where you want to explain more of the product to them. The booth is just to introduce them to Posh and form a relationship with them. So I always make sure to add different levels of height to my vendor events, because if it's all, like, just laid on the table, it doesn't really draw your eye to it. But if it has, like, height to it, it's going to be great, and it'll draw the eye more to your table. I don't have all my testers in one spot. Like I said, I put hand creams on one side, lip scrubs in the middle, and chunks on the other side, because people are going to be interested in different things. And then I can have 3 different people at my table looking at 3 different things and having conversations with each of them. Or if Rachel and I are doing a booth together, or Mindy and I are doing a booth together, we can be on 2 separate ends of the table, and we're still interacting with customers, and they're not in each other's way, and they're still getting to try the products. make my display personal, I'll use like photo frames and chalkboards and things like that, and I just make it like really cutesy. Like we got these, I don't know where they're at, but we got these like awesome things from like Day Away once that says "I love me time" or "Ask me about my why," and I just get these little paper clips, like stand-up paper clips from Michaels that are like $1 in the dollar bins, and they can come in black and pink, and they stand up, so you can put them on your display with cute little things you printed off your computer, and it really just adds like a personal touch to your booth. Make sure to mark your products, what they are and how much they cost, because a lot of people just won't ask you how much they cost if they're not labeled. And like Michaels has some like really cute like little chalkboards that you can use for that. And chalkboard markers, because then you're not rewriting everything in chalk over and over and over again, and it's less dust on your products or on your wherever you're transporting it into. When you're thinking about like designing your display booth, like before you go to the booth, just set a table up at home so you know like what you're trying to get it to look like. That way, the day of, you're not so like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know, make sure you take the time before and like really have an idea of how you're going to set it up. That way, it's easier when you go to the event, and you're less stressed about it. And that way, you already know where you have an idea of what you're going to put where and how that's going to work. And when you're doing it, just think about, like, maybe if you've been to a vendor event before but haven't been a vendor, just think about, like, what has drawn you to people's booths. Like, you know, if you go to Johnny Appleseed, well, in Fort Wayne, we have that. But, you know, if you go to, like, a local fair, what draws you in to look at someone's booth? And just think about that and then, you know, put that into your own booth. I also suggest buying the Posh's on Ipsy sign off of the portal. Oh my gosh, like I've used that now 3 times at my vendor events, and people know what Ipsy is. They may not know what Perfectly Posh is, but a lot of people know what Ipsy is, and so they'll be like, oh my gosh, you're on Ipsy? And then we can have a conversation about how awesome Ipsy is and how awesome our products are to be featured in there. I really think that sign is like an amazing, amazing thing, and an addition to your booth. The only products that I allow or I demo at my vendor events are hand creams, lip scrubs, and they smell the chunks. And I'll do the Skin Vixen in the summer because they can try it right there and it's not so messy. I don't sample body butters or body scrubs, and it's totally up to you what you want to sample, but I find getting a hand cream or lip scrub on them, usually draws them in, and they'll stay there a while, and they usually buy it if they try it. They like it so much, you know, and that leads to, like, more parties and more bookings. And it's not much mess, is why I love to sample those, and it also, it doesn't take them so long to try a scrub and a body butter, because, like, sometimes the scrub takes a while, and you're still developing that relationship with them, but it's not a long time. You're at their booth, you can still talk to them and develop that relationship while developing relationships with other people at the same time, because you're getting more people in and out quicker, but with the same results. You can do your vendor event with no stock and just your starter kit. I totally have done that. Like, when I first started, I just had my starter kit. And that's, like, awesome. Still get, like, the little spice racks from Walmart and just set your stuff up on it. You know, and your love of Posh will go a very long way to people. And then just, you know, if they want to order, just be like, well, it ships anywhere for $5, and we have buy 5, get the 6th free. And it's really just, like, a great way to get people interested in Posh, too. And you could maybe focus on bookings that day, if you don't have cash and carry to sell, too. It's okay to do a vendor event without cash and carry. Don't be scared. Then also, how many of us have, you know, done an event where it's super slow? Like, oh my gosh, I'm just sitting here and it's so boring and there's no one here and the whole day is crap. No, go get up and go make friends with other vendors. Like, some of those slow shows that I've been to, I have made super duper friends that have joined my team leader or they're now my best friends and they're still with another company, but we go to vendor shows together all the time now. You know, and they're some of my best customers. Don't discount that they're selling something. They still may be interested in your product, and a lot of times they may have never heard of it before too. So it's very important to network while you're at the vendor event if it's slow. A lot of times, like, if you know it's going to be a busier event, I will bring someone with me. That way you can help twice the amount of people, because people will walk by you if you're busy, even though they're interested in it, because they just don't want to wait. So split it with your best friend. Like, Rachel and I and Minnie and I love to do vendor events together, and it's a lot of fun, and it, like, you know, it's something you can look forward to, and, like, you can chat amongst each other, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to do an event with someone. And you can help twice the amount of customers. So that's, like, really awesome. And it's also nice if you have to go to the restroom, they're still there manning the booth. You don't have to worry about leaving your stuff. Okay, and then last but not least, if you want to carry stock, what I recommend is totally not necessary, but if you want to, I recommend, like, lip balms, skin sticks, lip scrubs, hand creams. And I always carry a face wash and moisturizer, too. And I have a lot more stock than that, but, like, that's what I started out with, because I think those are my best sellers. Let me know if you have any more questions. Post them below in the comments, and I'll answer them. I hope you enjoyed my training. Once again, but let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Hope you have a great night, ladies.